So for a relationship to be proportional, both of these conditions must be met. Oh, this is super vertical. There we go. For a relationship to be proportional, both of these conditions must be met. The first condition being the graph is linear. Give me a thumbs up if that term sounds familiar to you. Linear. You've ever heard that before? 2 people, 3 people, 4 people? Okay. Does anyone know what linear means? If you're looking at a graph that's linear, how can you tell that it's linear? What does it look like?
Like diagonal?
A line. What type of line? A curved line?
A straight line.
A straight line. Exactly. That's what it means to be linear. A straight line. Now, it could be diagonal. It could also be horizontal or vertical. We'll talk about those later. You don't have to write this in. This is just a visual so we know what I'm talking about. There is a linear line. That would be a non-linear line. Is this line here straight? No, it's curved, like a U. But this line is straight. That is linear. So if we're looking at a graph and we're asking ourselves, is this proportional or not? The first thing you ask yourself is, well, is it a straight line? If it is, that first condition is met. The second condition that has to be met is the graph goes through the origin. The graph must go through the origin. Where is the origin on every single graph?
The middle.
Right in the middle.
Circle.
That's right. What are the coordinates, does anyone know, for the origin point?
1 and 0.
Very close.
0,
0, 0. So if your graph shows a straight line that goes through the center of your graph in the origin, you have a proportional relationship. I'll give you guys a moment to copy that down. Then we're going to maybe get to gluing.
What?
Never mind, we won't glue in yet. Let's go ahead and write down the formula for a proportional relationship. Nice and big, we'll write y is equal to k times x. And we'll put a bubble around that. So if we're taking a test in 3 weeks and we forget what the formula is for a proportional relationship, we could jump right over here and see, oh, nice and large in the bubble, there's our formula. Y is equal to k times x. Do you guys remember writing formulas like this last year?
No. No.
Good healthy mix of yeah and no.
No.
That's all right.
Just
That's what that's what we are reviewing for, right? We got half an hour. Off to the side, we're going to write a little asterisk or a star, and we're going to remind ourselves that k is equal to what? Anyone remember what k is equal to?
Y over X.
Y over x. That is right. Was my y orange or was my x orange? Y was orange. Just like we learned yesterday, k is equal to y over x. So, let's say Mr. Church assigns 2 IXLs for every 1 new lesson taught. And thank the Lord that's not true. But let's just say for this example that I assign 2 IXLs for every 1 new lesson taught. We're going to find out, is this a proportional relationship? Should be a question mark. I ran out of room, and I'm going to zoom in. For example, Mr. Church assigns 2 IXLs for every 1 new lesson taught. Does this represent, or is this a proportional relationship? Let's go ahead and draw another little table like we did yesterday. Where X is going to represent the number of lessons and Y is going to represent the number of IXLs. Morning, Ashley. Come on in. Thank you. We have like 25 minutes. I'll have you start your test. Okay. In the middle of notes. It's probably somewhere to stay. What is it? Emergency? Go ahead and go quick. So I'll have you see it right over. And then do you need a calculator? 9:18. 9:18. So we got a decent amount of time. So take out your notebook and then any worksheets that you have. If you have worksheet 11, the study guide, it's going to help a lot. And then just do as much as you can for today, okay? Thank you. Let's go ahead and get one of our little graphs here glued in, right next to that table or wherever you have some room. If your glue stick is deceased, just toss it and let me know so I can get you a new one. Look at how nice and perfect that graph is. We don't have to draw it looking all weird. If we had to draw it, it would look something like this, and this is ugly. Not even. This is perfect. Anyone having trouble figuring out where this is going? What we're doing? You guys okay? Okay. Did it glue itself closed? So take a couple seconds, like 15 more seconds to get this glued in. And let's go ahead and fill in this table using the information that we know from our question. Let's say our first x value is 1. If Mr. Church taught one new lesson, how many IXLs would be assigned? 2, that's exactly right. Our question says Mr. Church assigns 2 IXLs for every one new lesson taught. So when you get one new lesson, that's 2 IXLs. Question?
So if you teach 2 lessons, it'd be 4 IXLs?
Absolutely. That's exactly where I was going next. If I teach 2 new lessons, how many total IXLs is that now? 4. What about 3 new lessons? 6. We're noticing a pattern, yes? And how about 4 new lessons? 8 total IXLs. Sounds like a lot of fun. 8 IXLs. Just extra credit.
Did you ever assign us an actual IXL?
Maybe. We'll see. I don't want to, but I might have to. If I'm absent and can't be here to make copies, then yes, but other than that, no. So there's our information. 1 new lesson, 2 IXLs, 2 new lessons, 4 IXLs, 3 new lessons, 6 IXLs, 4 new lessons, 8 IXLs. So on this little graph, directly underneath on the x-axis, we're going to write what the x-axis represents, which in this case is what? The number of lessons. That's right. Number of lessons. And what does our y-axis represent? The number of IXLs. That's right. Number of IXLs. So first we're going to label our axes on our worksheet today. It's already labeled for you. And we're going to go through and plot these points. What's my first point written as a coordinate pair? Devin?
1 and 2.
1, comma 2, exactly. So if we start here at the origin, are we going to go right 1 or are we going to go up 1? We're going to go right. Our x coordinate is 1, so we go to 1 on the x-axis. And our y coordinate is 2. We're going to go up 2. I'm going to zoom in here on this. We go 1 on the x, 2 on the y, and make our first point right there. That shows that after 1 new lesson, you receive 2 IXLs. Thumbs up if you're with me so far. Okay, half of us. Good. Now, if there's 2 new lessons, how many IXLs are there?
4.
4. So 2 new lessons on the x. We go up to 4 IXLs on the y and make our second point. What about 4 new lessons? How many IXLs do we have after 4 new lessons? Take a look at the table. 4 new lessons, 6. Oops. I messed that up. I think I misspoke.
You put 4 instead.
I know, yeah, I put 4 instead of 3. And whiteout doesn't work with blue paper, but it's okay. 3 lessons, 6 IXLs, and then 4 lessons. How many IXLs were there? 8, right up here at 8. Perfect. Once again, in my unpreparedness this morning, I forgot about these. That's right, we're drawing lines. Can't be all wobbly and wonky. Just in case, because other periods have more people. So make sure everyone in your group has a ruler real quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect all of these dots. You're welcome. Everyone have a ruler? Stairs, make sure everyone in your group has a ruler, please. You're good. Yeah, put the extra ones in your supply box, please. Thank you. So you're going to take your little mini ruler. You're going to line it up with all those points. And we're going to draw our line as precisely as you can, with a little arrow on the end to show that this line goes up and up and up forever. And that's our graph right there. Let's go ahead and see, bless you. Let's see if this relationship meets our 2 conditions. The first condition being, is the graph linear? Give me a thumbs up for yes, this is linear. Thumbs down for no, this is not linear. What do you guys think? That group's okay, all thumbs up over there, over here. Good, this is definitely linear. How can we tell? It's a straight line. Simple as that. Perfectly straight line. We didn't have to move our ruler to make any angles or anything like that. So that is linear. The second question is, does it go through the origin? Take a look at our graph. Does it cross through the point 0, 0? Which would be right down here in the bottom left. Does it cross through that origin? Yes, it does. Now yours might be slightly off depending on how big your points are and whether it lined up or not. But this would go through the origin. And let's think about it logically, right, in the context of this problem. If I assigned 2 IXLs for every 1 new lesson, and you come in and we don't learn any new lessons, how many IXLs would I assign? 0. So 0 lessons, 0 IXLs. That's this point right there, 0, 0. And that's basically the nature of these proportional relationships. You can think about it in the context of whatever problem you're dealing with and figure it out. This is linear. It does go through the origin. All we have left to do now is find K. We see that it's proportional, which means that we must have a constant of proportionality. So if k is equal to what over what again? Y over x. Remember, y aren't you over your x? Y over x. The beauty of today's work in comparison to worksheet 12 is that we know that it's proportional already. So we only have to check this with 1 point. Not all 4 of them, not all 3 of them. Just 1 point, because we can visually see both these conditions are met. So it doesn't matter which of these points from the table that you take. Let's just go ahead and take this first one here. 1 over 2. Y over x would give us 2 over 1. What does 2 over 1 simplify to be? 0.5? 2 over 1 is equal to 2. 1 over 2 would be 0.5, but like I've said, I think 6 times today, I don't want to hear or see anything about decimals. Right? So even if it was 1 over 2, it's 1/2, not 0.5. Our k value here is 2. I know I said that was the last step. We have one more thing to do. Right? I know it seems like a lot right now, but once we actually get practicing it, it won't be that bad. Write the equation for this proportional. This is super easy, don't worry. Write the equation for this proportional relationship. The formula that we put in big letters in a bubble was what? Y is equal to what? 2x. Oh, well, yes, but the formula itself is y is equal to kx. All we have to do is plug in our value of k, which in this case we just found is 2. Nope. So the equation we can write, y is equal to, what did you say again, Ida? 2x. Boom. That is our equation. All we did was replace k with the value of k that we found. Y is equal to 2x. Like I said, it seems like a lot. But once you get to the worksheet here that we're going to get right now, it won't be too bad, I promise. You're not going to have to do the graphing. The graph is given to you. And there's not even a table to worry about. So take a minute to get that copied down. Finish copying that down. I'm going to get 12 and a half passed out.